Hey guys, and welcome back. We are here for the Walking Dead After Show on the stream. I'm your host, Malynda Hale. I cannot believe this episode. It was all about my favorite character who's no longer with us, Tyrese, but I'm so excited to talk about this with you guys. And I'm joined by my wonderful co-hosts, David, Glenna, and welcome to the panel, Tim. We are so excited to be here. It feels like we haven't been here in 2 months. I think it has been 2 months.
Longer for me.
Longer for you, right. We're gonna dive right into this episode. So we started with the group moving on to, it was called Wilshire Community, I think is what it was called, where Noah's family was. And we got there. It looked like this kind of reminded me of where the governor had his little private place. Kind of, you know what I'm talking about?
Not as beautiful.
Well, not as beautiful, but it was like a gated community and everything. And we get there, and Noah's going to find his family. And they're really great because they wanted to do it as kind of an honor to Beth, which I really love that Rick said that, because Beth really wanted him to get back home to his family. So we get there, he goes to his house, everybody's dead, it's bombed, and then what happens? What happens? Tyrese gets bit when they get to the house. We were screaming like crazy. It was so nuts, because first of all, we thought that one of the zombie that bit him was behind the door. And then we were like, did
the zombie open the door?
Right.
Like, so when did they start learning how to open doors?
And Malynda's like, oh, well, now there's going to be smart zombies. And then it just doesn't make it real anymore, you know? It has to be
because
real
zombies are so real.
But I still think there needs to be smart zombies. I think something, but they did seem stronger. I was looking at the Twitter feed when we were watching the show, and people were like, "Did these zombies seem stronger more than usual?" Which they really did seem to me.
Well, yeah, because you had that little scrawny zombie, and Tyrese was struggling with him when he could have. I mean, we're talking about Tyrese here. He could have easily just said, "Please."
Also, you know,
like he always does.
You know what I feel like? I feel like now they're so used to like not worrying about the zombies as much that they kind of like are like, oh,
they're
and
kind of like an afterthought.
They just back off a little bit, and then they kind of, you know,
they let their guard
forget.
down a little bit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can't speak.
They do. What do you think, Tim?
I just feel like I'm really upset about Tyrese.
Yeah.
I really am upset about. I'm so upset about Tyrese, and I just can't. I just the whole zombies getting
Smarter. And
I just don't. I don't think that's where the direction is going.
I think it'd be really, really great.
Just not realistic.
I mean, on the upside, now that Tyrese died to a zombie, we finally had somebody die to a zombie. So it feels like the zombies are, maybe for the second half of the season, we're going to make the zombies an actual threat again instead of just other people.
I did say while we were watching the show, though, that maybe the new threat would be, you know, the sickness or the disease is more accelerated because it's never happened that fast before.
Right.
And I just.
Well, he did get bit twice.
He did get bit twice,
So
but then
he
got his arm cut off.
He got bit twice.
I think
he got his
what
arm cut off.
killed him really.
Yeah,
he
his
lost
arm
too much blood.
Lost too much blood, and I was just hoping. What took them so long? That's what I want to know.
No, that's what I want to know.
Cut his arm off. So Noah goes.
had a whole
He's
that
running.
place isn't
hallucinations
that
before.
big.
Yeah.
That's true.
Which was beautiful. I have to say, I really loved that they brought back so many of those characters to have Tyrese go through all of that. And I think, obviously, we knew with all of the hallucinations and him getting bit, unfortunately, that and the episode is about him, that he was going to be the character that died this episode, which I was really sad because I was rooting for him because he had so much humanity left, and he was really the teddy bear of.
I think he was the last one of the group that still had it.
Right.
Yeah, because even Glenn is losing it. Michonne is kind of coming back after, you know, the end of season, was it 3? Where she was, after the prison, where she was walking with the 2 walkers and she just lost it. And then she was like, no, I have to go back. I feel like she has a little bit more hope now.
Right.
She's kind of ringing everybody together and be like, no, we can't keep going.
So do you think that Michonne's going to be the one now that has the humanity of the group now that Tyrese is gone? I'm wondering who's going to take that because he really was the only one
I don't
left.
think Michonne's going to have the humanity of the group, but I think she's the person that's like, she'll kick Rick's ass into doing more humane things. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah.
Like she'll force him into doing stuff whether he likes to or not.
She won't be on Tyrese's level, but
Well,
she'll
Tyrese
just be
is
like,
just like the little gnat in your ear that won't go away. When he's talking about, oh, we have to be nicer, Michonne probably won't be so subtle
right.
when she says things to him.
Well, we want to know what you think, so go ahead and tweet us using the hashtag TWDAS, and we'll be right back with a few more topics to discuss with you guys.
Hey, I'm Tommy Bechtold from theStream.tv, and let me tell you, when it comes to Valentine's Day, I am a total zero. My bad ideas for gifts range from stale chocolates to baby alligators. And let me tell you something about baby alligators. They become full-size alligators, and then you got a zoo problem. So I racked my brain for what would be the perfect Valentine's gift, and the answer the whole time was right under my nose. Kai-Mu flowers. These things are beautiful. Give them to the person you love the most. There you go, big guy, nice shirt. Happy Valentine's Day. Make Valentine's Day Valentine's Day by clicking below.
All right, guys, we're back. Thanks again for tuning in. And if you want to go ahead and ask your friends to join us, tell them to log into YouTube, stream.tv, and use the hashtag TWDAS to send us any questions. Speaking of who's chatting with us live, Tim, who do we have in the YouTube chat room with us?
So Chris Rose actually brought up an interesting point. She said that they didn't see Herschel in the hallucinations, and she's wondering why.
Huh.
Yeah. Since he was such a...
Well, were Tyrese and Herschel, I can't remember, were they around at the same time?
Yeah.
They were, but I don't know how close they were.
I think it was the most, I think it's
people Tyrese was closer to.
Yeah, and
because the little girls he had the bond with.
Most recent.
He trusted the governor for a little while because he was one of the guards when he went to that place. And I don't know how close him and Beth were.
And I feel like it was all with people that he kind of felt almost not responsible for their deaths, but
Bob,
he could have done something to have changed.
Right.
Because like that guy who was the guy with Gareth.
The
first guy.
The
first guy that came,
cabin.
he was
right.
saying, it's a domino, it could have changed by that one little thing. So I think it was things that he kind of subconsciously had always felt like he was responsible for, or
It would have been nice to see Herschel, though.
Right, I know. I really
nice
miss
to see
Herschel because we don't have an older figure in the group anymore. I don't know if we realized that, like, he's been the last older figure that we had. And I think somebody even asked on YouTube if we thought there's going to be an older figure to show up, but I don't know, but that is a very good, so thanks for that question. That's a really good one. So now, they were leaving, trying to save Tyrese. They only had, I think, 2 miles left in the car, but then Tyrese was ready. He was ready. It's like he mentally just chose death over having to deal with this. Honestly, it's like...
I mean, I would too if Beth was singing to me.
We kind of all were like, Beth, stop singing. Tyrese is dying. But it was nice to see Beth. I know we have a lot of Beth fans out there.
I'm a Beth fan.
I know
I'm a Beth fan. I love Beth.
Tim brought up a really good question. If you got bit, would you choose to die, or would you want your limb to get cut off?
I mean, I guess it's like a judgment call.
It really is, because Tyrese, he's always been battling with this whole situation, as we've seen. So he really mentally chose death, as we saw.
He can hardly kill people with all of his limbs. There's no way he would survive with one hand.
Which why I think he's just like, this is my end.
No,
this is my
he could
time.
kill people when he wanted to. We've seen him go apeshit.
Oh yeah, with the
That's
hammer.
when Karen died.
Yeah,
when Karen died.
But he just chooses not to because he's such a nice person.
He was really, his face, he was always like, I'm sad about him dying, but it's not like a big character.
Right.
I don't know, I disagree.
He's a
I
big
think he's a
character.
staple. I
Yeah.
don't know, at that
For
point,
me.
like, he was like a staple character in the show, and he was like, I could have seen a couple other people die first that I wouldn't have been too unhappy about, like maybe Eugene's entire squad.
Right.
And I would have been all right with that.
You mean you don't want to see Rosita and Abram having sex in the library again?
No, not again.
I don't think anybody wants to see that.
I do.
Oh my God.
It made me pretty uncomfortable to see that, more than them being uncomfortable with Eugene seeing it.
Well, okay. Well, moving back to the important stuff.
Sorry, my ADD is really bad.
No, it's okay. When they first got to Wilshire Community, and even Michonne brought this up, that they thought they should stay there, and I kind of thought that would have been a good idea, but they are so, stuck on going to Washington. Do we think they're going to make it? I'm kind of surprised they're actually out of Georgia at this point, because it took them forever to get out of Georgia.
It's about damn time they got out of Georgia, because, where we are, I've been doing my homework, guys, over the break. I've read like 120 Walking Dead comics yet. I still got a ways to go. But they're already in Washington. Like, and they've been there for a long time. So I think the show's finally starting to catch up. It's funny that, I mean, we've been in Atlanta for, what, 4 seasons? And then all of a sudden we're 3 states away in 10 minutes. But
pretty much. That's a very good point.
I mean, at least we get to skip all the crap and we can actually go to the next chapter.
Right.
And I think they do go to Washington and find some kind of haven, some place to start over.
Which I think will be great.
That's what they need right now in the show.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
I feel like if they stayed there, it's kind of like they'd just be in a constant, like, then what?
Like limbo.
In limbo,
Like
yeah. They need something to work towards.
Which is very true. I'm wondering how safe Washington really is going to be. I mean, I don't know. You said they did find a safe haven in the comics, so do we know if the TV show's following that? Because I don't know how.
Well, we already know the
true to
TV
form.
show is completely different than the comics. Because, I mean, Glenn's dead.
Right.
And he's still obviously alive.
Yeah, that's true.
So everything's different.
That's true. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Who do we think
I mean,
is
the president's there, so it's probably, they got a bunker that's safe somewhere.
Yeah.
If the president is still alive.
Right.
He's probably the most protected person on the planet in the zombie apocalypse.
Of course.
Who are you kidding?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I'm curious, who do you guys think the next character to go is going to be? Or who do you want to see go? I'm surprised that the priest is still there. Like, I'm really getting, like, come on. He has no purpose.
Honestly, I say Sasha, only because she was the last person. Oh, well, actually, no, that's not true. The pastor or what, or that guy. But I feel like he still has. There's still something that's gonna happen with him. But I feel like, or maybe Sasha she just has nothing to live for anymore. It's really sad. I don't want anyone to die. Really.
Who do you think, Tim?
I feel like none of the immediate group that we know right now is gonna die. I feel like they're gonna come across some people that we're gonna get comfortable with while they're going to Washington, and then one of those people are gonna die. I think they've just been hitting our characters so hard for the last 3 episodes that I just think that they're gonna lay off for a little while.
I hope so. Well, we want to know what you think also. So continue to tweet us and talk to us in the YouTube chat using the hashtag TWDAS. We're going to take another quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with your fan questions.
Just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
Just in case you missed it live.
Oh, just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live, I'm doing something right now.
So we're all super excited.
Yes.
This is dancing.
So what would that be, like a 7?
I cannot. I literally cannot. You guys have got to get it together.
Don't hate the player. Don't hate the game. Hate the contract you didn't get.
He's a coward. He's a giant chicken shit.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's going to be like hurricane. Whoa.
Watch out for those girls. They are gagging them.
Hold the phone.
Hold on.
Bro.
The more brutal you are, the more power you have.
Right.
That was sexy. It was hot. It was heated. I was into it.
You are going to be the most high-paid hooker in the world.
Go ahead and invite your friends and everybody. Tell your mama. Tell her, go ahead and turn the stove off and get up on the computer so we can get on the TWDAS.
Thank you again for joining us, and until next week, bye-bye.
Welcome back, and we are so excited to get into your fan questions. But before we do, we want to give some shout outs to our friends that are hanging out in the YouTube chat. Tim, you want to shout out some people?
Yes, just some shout outs. Thank you guys for watching. Adam Carlson, Stephanie Rivera, and Chris Valentine. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Thanks for tuning in, guys, and invite your friends because we want to talk to you guys, and you can also tweet us throughout the week using the hashtag TWDAS. Now we're going to get into some of your questions. Our first one is from our friends over at Undead Walking, and it's from Susie Graham Hughes. I think I said that right. It's, when they aren't in survival mode, do you think they think about the future? What might they imagine? Oh, that's a great question. I wonder how much they think they even have a future, you know, like what is next if there's a safe haven, because they all know that they have the zombie virus and they know that no matter what it's going to happen, this is the end.
There was a big portion of the episode where Glenn, Michonne, and Rick were talking about this, where they were like, "What's next? Does it even matter anymore? You can be out here for too long."
Right.
And I mean, both Rick and I think like at that point, Rick was in like a questioning himself, and Glenn was like, "Yeah, it doesn't matter," and Michonne was like, "No, it does. You can be out here for too long."
Yeah. Also, they showed in the next episode, they showed Maggie saying to Sasha, I think, how much longer or something like that, and she was like, "Oh, 6 miles," and she's like, "That's not what I meant."
Right.
Like, I think they're kind of like
getting over
some
it.
of them are losing
done.
hope, and they're just kind of like, what are we working towards? You know, what are we?
They have to be so exhausted. You know.
Yeah. But I feel like back to what you had said about they all have this inside of them. I guess it would be like, I guess a cancer patient who knows that they're terminal. You still want to fight.
Right.
You still want to kind of, you know, see the light at the end of the tunnel, but you don't want to give up. I don't know. You don't want to give up.
But
See, the thing is, like, when are they not in survival mode?
Right.
Is the thing. Like, I don't think since the prison. Like, they had that short spurt in the prison where they weren't like, everything's fine. Like, we can live a normal life.
Yeah, but
again.
that was the last time they weren't.
Exactly.
I mean, that was.
Right. Well, it's a very good question. Thank you so much to Susie Graham. Our next question is from JVolk13. How do you think Maggie will do with losing the last of her family? That's really interesting because I think we always joked
She's fine.
about how she really
was
didn't pay
fine
much
before it
attention
even
to Beth
happened.
anyway. You know, I mean, it really technically isn't the last of her family. She does still have Glenn. Glenn is technically family now that they're married. But yeah, I mean, she doesn't have Herschel anymore. She doesn't have Beth. Were there other siblings? I can't remember.
Yeah, but they died like
way
in the
back. Yeah,
first
I thought
season
so.
that
Yeah,
we
it was
saw
a long
them.
time ago. Yeah, you're like, she's fine.
She's fine.
I think she'll be
Trust
all
me.
right. I don't want her to. I don't want to make her seem like a bad person, but I think she'll be fine.
Yeah, I think it's also harder now that she knows Beth is dead, whereas before, even though she didn't talk about it a lot, it was still like, you never know. Just like Noah, he never knew what was going to happen with his family. I mean, well, everyone really, but.
But it's like with what David had said, you know, it's survival mode. Like how much time do you have to grieve?
Right.
You know, it happens, you cry and you got to get over it or you die.
Absolutely.
Because they're always in survival mode.
It's very
Always.
true. Always. Well, that's a great question. Thank you. And our next fan question is from Renee 652003. If you could bring back one cast member, who would it be and why? That's a great question, and
I don't know if we
these
answered this before already, but I think we
have.
did.
Yeah.
I think we kind of
It was
answered this before, and we all argued. I said Shane.
Oh, God. No,
well, now
Herschel.
I'm saying Tyrese because I didn't want Tyrese to leave.
Herschel.
Yeah, Herschel's great. What about you, Tim?
I don't know. I would say, I think you guys are going to hate me if I say it because a lot of people didn't like her, but I would say Lori.
Really?
I would have loved to have seen her take care of her baby, to have that mothering kind of aspect in the show that is kind of missing with an infant and an adult kind of point of view, just because you know that mothering instinct takes over when when there's danger.
I thought we talked about, like, somebody told us in one of the fan comments months ago that I think the baby's dead in the comics.
Are you serious?
That's
and
morbid.
that's just something that kind of they left in the show. And so it's like, and you notice how, like, when the show, they just kind of ignore that the baby's there.
They do.
Unless
They
it's
do.
a bad
Yeah,
moment
you're
for
right.
it to cry, and then all of a sudden it's
Yeah.
crying.
Right.
I mean, it is realistic, though. I mean, if a baby started crying while I was, and the walkers are there and we're trying to hide in the forest, I'd be like, shut up, we're gonna kill you.
That's like what
I
one of
would've
the
killed the
little
baby.
girls
Right.
did, almost killed the baby.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
'cause
Yeah,
that's so true.
But she was just insane.
Yeah. Good question.
She was
we
in
love that.
survival mode.
That's the thing. That's going to be our a new hashtag. Survival mode. Great. And Tim, do we have a live question from our YouTube viewers?
Yes. So Chris Hawkins, thank you for your question. He brought up the whole thing with Tyrese, and I guess survival mode is. Do you think that Sasha will become stronger or go insane since Tyrese is gone?
Well, you kind of touched on that. You think Sasha is going to have this breakdown because she lost Bob, and now she lost her brother.
Oh, I was saying that she might be the new Carol because once Carol lost everyone, she was just like survival mode.
Yeah. Seriously, she became
No, she really was
really
just like
strong
whatever
woman.
has to be done,
Right.
I'm gonna do. I don't like. It was kind of just like half of it was like protecting everyone, but at the same time that meant having to kill some of their own.
But
or
Sasha
whatever.
started out stronger than Carol started out
True,
anyway.
yes.
So
She might have the opposite effect.
So maybe. I think it'd be
I don't
interesting
know, maybe
to see
because like
her.
we saw right after Bob died, she went crazy on those people that
She really
that
did.
was
Yeah, that's
responsible
true.
for
She did,
killing them.
right.
And now that Tyrese is dead, yo, I don't know. I mean, she could just straight like I think she's gonna become like the ultimate zombie slaying badass at this point. But I think she's also gonna lose her fucking sanity at the same time.
Right.
Like she's
Which
probably
I
just
think
gonna
would
go
be really
ape.
amazing if we saw her go down that road.
Well, and kudos to Carol. I mean, Carol lost her husband. Yes, granted abusive, but she still loved him.
And she lost her
And she lost
daughter.
her bait, like
Yeah.
a child.
Yeah.
So, you know,
For her to get that
Sasha,
strong.
I mean, yeah, lost Bob and Tyrese, but you know,
But
they're
she met Bob
adults.
along the way.
Yeah, yeah.
But
So I'm just
her,
saying.
yeah, but
Right.
her and Tyrese were
one night of romance.
super
They were
close.
close. They
They
were
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 world
very
close.
close.
So-
I always forgot that they were brother and sister on occasion.
Too.
Yeah.
I thought they were
I thought they were
cousins.
together when we
Oh.
first saw them. We were like, they didn't make it
You're
clear.
like, oh.
until,
I was like,
after
oh,
a whole
it says,
season.
okay.
Oh, man. Well, we also want to give some shout outs to some of our Twitter fans that have been tweeting us throughout the week. Shout out to Casey Von Seven and Paulina Sedeka. So thank you so much for tweeting us throughout the week. And if you are tuning in live right now on YouTube, just go ahead and subscribe to theStream.tv so you don't miss any of our after shows. We want to thank you so much for tuning in. We are so excited that The Walking Dead is back. So make sure you tune in with us every week and tweet us throughout the week using the hashtag TWDAS. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we will see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.